Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Throwback Thursday. Today we are going
Another small book there.
back, very far back, and also forward from back a little bit. So this is the Star Trek CCG, originally and only printed by Decipher in 1994, which was their first leap into the collectible card game format. But we are playing the second edition. A lot of people have been asking that, even though it's right there in the title.
That's right.
Second edition.
So it's another one of these little games. These little games. It's another one of these classic games that has the debate between first edition, second edition. Because at the time, that was your first editions were coming out, and then people were like, there's so much we don't understand. And so then you probably try to reboot it, and a lot of games went through this. And then some people were like, second edition, way better. But as we discussed in one of our podcasts, I can't remember, anytime you fall in love with something and then it changes, you're probably not going to like it as much.
I think on the throwbacks that we started last year, the first game we really ran into this debate with was Raw Deal. Because we played the first edition and people were like, second edition is way better. And then other people were like, no, it's garbage.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting because this game originally came out in 94. And then the second edition came out in 2002.
Wow, that's a long, time between those.
Yeah, and so the context that's important to set just in
I got to get my phone. I got to get into
go ahead.
here. But feel free to continue to regale you.
On that timeline is the 90s was kind of the CCG gold rush, right? So Magic came out in 93. This came out in 94. Pokemon was 95, I think. Star Wars CCG was 95. Middle-earth CCG was 95. I think once Magic hit, there were a lot of people coming from a lot of different directions saying, collectible cards, we're very familiar, baseball cards forever, right? With a game, oh man, this is a thing. This is a real thing. And Magic can't keep up. So there's a tremendous opportunity. And we saw from 93 to 2000, 2001, I remember there was a new CCG constantly.
Every day.
Every IP from, that's a lot of our throwbacks, right? X-Files to wrestling to literally just everything you can imagine that was going on back then. Dune was one of those as well. Wheel of Time. I mean, it was just constant barrage of games.
I mean, there's even was and is a My Little Pony card game.
It does still exist. That's true.
So you can make a card game out of anything.
But the reality is that with all those games coming out and going away and coming out and going away and coming out and going away, a lot of companies learned a whole lot about how to do a collectible card game. And this, given the game came out in 94, you can imagine balance, power creep, understanding what mechanics are going to be worth it or not, complicated or not. So when you get these second editions, and particularly the timeline on this in 2002, one of the things that I've read a lot about this game particularly is they focused on function over granularity of the experience.
Which is kind of what we like about the Star Wars CCG, is the granularity of the experience.
So it can either be this game is a lot easier to understand and enjoy and appreciate, or it can be the thing that made me like this thing isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
And we see that with a lot of modern games. Going back to some of these old throwbacks like Middle-earth CCG or Star Wars CCG, part of the appeal is the chunkiness, right?
It's almost more of a role-playing game.
Yeah, so I don't have the experience to tell you which one's better. I just know that we're going to be playing the second edition one today. And from a read through the rules, you know how much I love that, just reading rule books. It's not that crazy. I thought it would actually be crazier than that. So I'm going to get
I thought first edition was pretty chunky.
I think it was.
That Ryan Roper here in the chat saying that first edition was more Trek and second edition was more gamey. So take your pick. I mean, I didn't follow Star Trek. I actually watched an episode last night. Robert showed me one.
Next Generation?
I'm slowly kind of getting my feet wet with Star Trek. Yeah, I had never done it in the past.
I've seen a good 40 episodes at this point.
Yeah,
and they were all great.
Did you see it? The one I watched last night was where they had the two people kind of competing for promotions, and then one of them got sent to be a fake prisoner for the Cardassians. Mm-hmm. I kept thinking because of the Kardashians. Then I was like, well, that's funny. That's a way to remember that. And then she was going to come back in an escape pod, and then they find out that it gets obliterated.
One of the people up for the promotion.
Yes, one of the crunchy nose people.
Yep, I have seen that.
Whatever those are. Yeah, that's supposed to be. So Robert said that was a good one. So he showed me that one.
Yeah, my friend Matt basically put together top 50 episodes of TNG, and we were watching through those. We didn't make it all the way, but we made it quite a ways through that. So I'll give you the choice. Do you want to play? We have two decks that we're using. One is USS Enterprise, Jean-Luc Picard. The other one is this guy.
I'm
Shinzon.
I read in a comment that the Romulans were a little better.
The villains? They typically are.
So you want to roll for
That's
it?
why I really don't care.
I have no attachment. I'll be the Romulans.
All right.
You know the game a little better, so you should be.
That's a statement. All right, so you have these cards right here, which are your headquarters. Should be your planet that you're playing from. And we'll put these like right up next to each other. That goes in the middle.
Okay.
And then you literally have what are called, I think they're called mission cards.
We're gonna go to the top down here.
Yeah.
What is First Contact? I may have actually seen it. Is that the one where you like? Did you see that one too, where it gets beamed to some other planet and then lives an entire life and then gets essentially kind of beamed back, and the whole thing was that the civilization was gonna die and he was like supposed to witness them.
Was it John Luke?
Yeah.
And then
It's the other one we watched.
Yeah. I have to. I forget. There's a name for that. I forget what it's called.
Oh, First Contact's a movie. Okay, great. Inner Light. Yeah, thank you, Galactus.
Okay, so we basically have our headquarters and our missions. Our missions are how we're going to win the game. You're going to set them up like this.
I don't know in my head. Does it say headquarters like yours on the bottom?
You'll see it. Yeah, it'll say headquarters. This is my Federation headquarters.
Okay, are we doing that now?
Yep. And then
these go anywhere we want?
just put them all along there, and we'll figure that out in a minute. Okay, so you win the game. You ready for this?
We should have a whole thing called Zach Teaching Games. It's great. I love it. It's
Just
like,
clips of me.
would you like somebody who hates learning games teach you games? Here it is. We'll figure that out later. Throw it together.
So the objects of the game, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Score points.
All right, victory
right.
points, VPs.
These missions have points on them. You'll see the big number to the middle right. So like this Intercept Renegade is a 35 over there off to the side.
All of them are 35 except for your little geological survey. It must be easier.
Just a little
Just
30,
a 30.
30 pointer.
Yeah, a little 30 pointer.
So technically you win the game. Not technically, definitely. Get into 100 points. So as an example, for me to win, I would have to score any three of my missions.
Yeah, it seems to make sense, yeah.
Same with you, technically, if they're all at 35.
Okay, easy.
And that's the basics of winning. Also worth noting, you have to complete one planet mission and one space mission. So it should say, let me find it somewhere.
Planet or space. I bet it's one of these symbols. One of these here symbols.
Yep,
Yeah.
with this here. It's like a Star Wars CCG with all the symbols that go. I'll pull up the little planet.
Or maybe it's the little dot somewhere.
Yeah, here it is. Mission type icon. Headquarters is the icon not on here.
Okay.
Oh, it's up here in the corner.
Okay,
there
up
it is.
here. Yeah, there's a
Oh, there it
headquarters.
is.
Okay, yeah,
Planet
yeah.
is blue.
Okay, blue.
Space is black. So surgery under fire is planet because it's got that blue circle in the corner.
I'm putting my planets next to my headquarters and then space outside of that because I like a tidy universe.
Yeah. Okay. So the turn structure is actually very simple. You ready for this?
I'm ready. Do
So
I need
on
a
your
reference to
turn-
back? No.
You will take turns going back and forth. One of us will start. The first thing you do is play and draw cards, which I'll break down in a second.
Okay.
And we'll walk through that. The second thing you're going to do is execute orders. So that's when you're actually doing stuff, right?
Okay.
Moving around, fighting, trying to complete missions and whatnot. Then the last phase is discarding any cards you have above 7.
Okay.
Pretty
Classic.
simple.
Yeah, you can't have
So,
an overwhelming.
in the play and draw cards phase, do you want to grab? Do you have some D6s?
You know I do. Courtesy of production man Bryce,
That's right.
running the cards
bag of dice.
on the screen there, and also providing the bag of dice. I think they probably originally were in a Crown Royal bag, like all dice.
That's where all dice come from, right?
But,
Crown
you know,
Royal
we-
bag.
Yeah, we didn't want to. We wanted to class up the stream a little bit. How many you need? 4, 8?
Four is plenty. So during your initial phase, you're going to get 7 counters, essentially. And 7 points to spend, right? That's your resources every round.
Okay.
So you get 7 every round. Important to note, there are a handful of types of cards. One, missions and headquarters, which you already saw. We have personnel, which are like characters, like Jean-Luc Picard. We have ships. Like, let me grab a ship as an example to pull up on the screen. The USS Sovereign is a ship, as you might expect. There's equipment that attaches to a ship or a character. It'll kind of make sense where it's supposed to go. There's missions, which we've seen here. There's events, things that happen, that kind of
I
thing.
see some events.
There's interrupts, which are zero cost things that happen trigger at a specific moment. And then there's also dilemma cards, which is an entirely separate deck. That's what you have over here, and I'll explain that in a
Oh,
second.
a separate dilemma deck.
It's kind of fun.
Sounds like real life.
So during the draw phase, though, you'll you get 7 points, which you can play stuff. So like Jean-Luc Picard, as you might expect, has that four cost up here. That's where the cost is at. So you spend that many points to put them into play.
Okay, four of these 7 little money points.
One thing I think you'll like is that you can also always spend 1 point to draw a card.
Okay.
So you can spend 7, draw 7.
Anytime you can cash in resources for resources, I'm in.
And do your thing. So during the execute orders phase, which is where the bulk of the action is going to happen, there's a handful of things you can do, right? The first thing you can do is called beaming.
Okay,
Beam me up, Scotty.
Yeah,
You know what I
okay,
mean?
let's beam on.
So you must have a ship at a mission to move things at that mission. So like each of these missions is its own location. Picture Star Wars CCG style.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get a ship. I want to see it.
I'm gonna get the USS Nebula out.
And let's say I've got the Dederidex. Here on the dilithium supervised dilithium mine.
Yep.
Mission planet.
So let's say you have that there. I'll have this over here. You have to have a ship at a mission in order to move things there.
Okay.
Right. Moving a ship is something you can do, which is all cards aboard the ship move with it.
Okay.
You can move to any mission, even if it's your opponent's.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we're gonna space this out a little bit.
Oh.
Because we can get fancy. That said, movement is kind of fascinating. You ready for this? This is worth understanding.
I'm into this already.
If you look at the USS Nebula, it has a range of 8.
Okay.
Okay. So when it moves, let's say I'm moving from the surgery under fire to your investigate coup. Look at the bottom of both of those locations. So the surgery under fire has a 2. Yours has a 2. So that costs me 4 range. Now we'll need way more dice actually.
Okay. Do we D20s? Do we need to spin down?
We'll need 6s. Lots of 6s.
But look, they're right here.
Well, the spin.
You can spin them down.
That's just
all the way.
So the thing is,
top to bottom.
we need to track that I spent 4 range, because in a turn, you can spend your entire range, right?
There's another reason. Range is a resource.
But like if I moved 4 there, I need to track that I spent 4 to move.
Okay.
And now I don't know how often we're going to want to move multiple times in the same thing, but you could imagine I like move a ship here, beam someone up to the ship, move the ship somewhere else it wants to go, because I'm trying to get a character to that specific location.
All right.
Okay, so move is an action you can take, and there's no limit to the number of times you can move, except for how much range that you have. You can also staff a ship. So you have a staff ship when you meet all icons and have 1 matching affiliation aboard. So if you look at the USS Nebula, it has these icons off to the side, which there's a name for each of those.
It's like a big star and then some smaller stars.
Yep. So if you look at Jean-Luc Picard, for example, he's got that big star. That's the captain's
I'm the captain
thing.
now. That's the captain.
Yep.
You got to captain that thing.
And then he has the other icon down there, which has a name, and it does a certain kind of thing. But to have a ship fully staffed, you have to match all those icons, basically. So
maybe like a bonus? Print something cool?
There is the good stuff. You want a ship to be staffed.
Staff your ships.
As you can imagine, right? You might have a captain, but if you don't have people at the guns, then that's going to be a problem, et cetera, et cetera. Let me find it.
What's up, Jacques Pinar? Guys, love your streams from South Africa. Shout to you. Great for watching. How are you? Hope you're picking it up just fine and playing Star Trek CCG, potentially there in South Africa.
Yep. And so then one of the main things you can do is attempt a mission, which we'll just use one of these examples, like my surgery under fire. It says biology, leadership, medical officer, and strength greater than 36.
It sounds like Mythos already.
So yeah, if we look at Jean-Luc Picard, he's got a strength of 6.
Wow.
So to succeed at this, I have to have 36 strength present, right?
And you have to have all of those, that 36?
All that stuff, right? And if you look, he's got these skill sets: archaeology, diplomacy 2, honor, leadership, officer. So I would check off officer and leadership, and I need the strength there. But I basically need to get that there.
I see.
To succeed at the mission. Now, I didn't even make notes because I just need to read this section to you of actually, the game is about completing these missions, right?
Okay, yeah.
So let me...
What was this other, this was like Mythos, right? Where you had to have the candlestick in
the library, etc.
Go
I was thinking, by the way, if you put the Clue universe on the Mythos CCG, that would be hilarious.
There's a Clue universe?
Well, like, you know, it's
There's like 6 characters
you're,
and some
you're
items,
trying to pull off this, like, solve who did this thing, and it's like you got to get these pieces in place, and anyways. All right, you ready?
Can't wait to explore the Clue universe.
Have you seen the movie? It was an excellent movie.
The movie was phenomenal. Yeah.
All right.
hardly a Lord of the Rings, though, you know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot
not
of
on the same
B-roll
level.
there.
Yeah, that's right. Staffing ships, by the way. Let me look. So staff ships just can do things. You'll need that requirement at some point. But attempting a mission. Here we go. You ready for this?
Yeah.
From my tiny little rule book.
Are we going to roll dice to attempt?
No.
Okay.
It's way better.
Okay.
So personnel at one of your planets or spaceships may attempt to complete it. If successful, you score all the points and come closer to winning the game. You attempt a planet mission using all of your unstopped personnel on that planet. So there are cards that will stop a personnel. Stopping is referring to a specific thing.
Like you would play them on me?
I would stop
like
your
stop
characters.
that captain.
Yeah. But if you're doing a planet mission, so like this one with the blue icon, all your present unstopped personnel at that planet participate. If you're doing a space mission, all your personnel aboard one of your unstopped ships at that mission. So a single ship tries to complete that mission with everybody aboard. Headquarters.
That's what kind of a mission?
Space mission.
Space, okay.
Yeah, so it's one of your ships and anybody on it is what's participating. So you can attempt only missions you own, so you can't attempt your opponent's missions. To attempt a mission, the affiliation icon on a personnel you are using must match one of the icons on that mission.
Okay, so these icons.
Yep. So those icons down there, Jean-Luc Picard has the USS Enterprise thing.
Okay,
so he's got the blue.
I see. And then any affiliation except red thing, which you know, I can easily understand.
Sometimes missions use text rather than icons to tell you which affiliations may attempt them. Watch out. Once you begin a mission, you cannot abort that attempt. So this is where the dilemma deck comes in, which is fun. We each have a dilemma deck that we will build, and that'll be shuffled up.
That seems like a...
When you begin a mission, count the number of personnel involved and reveal the total. Oh, I'll tell you a fun rule in a second. The player on your left, which is you, draws that number of cards from his or her dilemma pile. So if I have 6 people participating, you get to draw 6 cards.
Okay.
The opponent examines those dilemmas and chooses which ones your personnel must face during this mission. The total cost of the dilemmas he or she chooses cannot be higher than the number of personnel you have attempting the mission. So if you look at
if you have 6 people participating, I can play 6 worth of dilemmas.
That's right.
They range from 1 to 3, it looks like.
You got it.
Some of them are free. No, they're not.
Your opponent cannot choose more than one copy of the same dilemma.
Okay, good.
He or she cannot choose any space dilemmas if you're attempting a planet mission, and cannot choose any planet missions if you're attempting a space mission.
Very nice.
Dual dilemmas may be used in either case. Any dilemmas your opponent does not choose are returned face up to the bottom of his or her dilemma pile. Anytime a player needs to draw a card from his or her dilemma pile and reaches a face up card, that player shuffles the entire pile and places it face down before drawing. Whatever that means.
Yeah, I'm sure that
Your
matters.
opponent takes the dilemma he or she has chosen and places them in a face down stack in the order of his or her choice. Your opponent then reveals the top card of the stack to you. You must read and follow the instructions on that dilemma. A dilemma will typically have a negative effect on your personnel attempting the mission, or require they have certain skills or attribute totals to prevent such an effect. Dilemmas don't normally affect personnel, ships, and equipment not involved in the mission.
Right.
Sometimes the dilemma will tell you to place it in a specific location, like back in your opponent's dilemma pile or on that ship. If you carry out all the instructions of the dilemma and have not been told where to place it, then you have overcome that dilemma. Place it beneath the mission you are attempting. Your opponent then reveals the next dilemma in the stack he or she created. As you continue through your opponent's dilemmas, some of your personnel may be killed or stopped.
Wow.
Remove stopped personnel from the mission attempt. They are not subject to the effects of any further dilemmas, nor can you use them to help overcome those dilemmas.
Okay.
If all the personnel you have attempting a mission are killed or stopped by dilemmas, you do not face any remaining dilemmas your opponent has chosen. Instead, those remaining dilemmas are overcome, meaning they go under the thing. If your opponent selects a space dilemma for a planet mission, you do not face that dilemma and it is overcome.
Okay. So you can bluff.
You could, which I'm excited to reveal one more rule to you that is crazy. Checking mission requirements. A mission requirement lists a number of skills and an attribute. If you face all the dilemmas your opponent chose and still have personnel remaining, check to see if you meet those requirements. You may use the same personnel to provide more than one skill. You meet an attribute requirement by totaling all your personnel remaining in the attempt. So whatever's left has to pass that test.
Wow.
If your personnel have all the required skills and their attribute total is higher than the required total, you have successfully completed the mission. Pull it half a card length toward you. Add its points to your score. You cannot attempt that mission again for the rest of the game.
Okay. You don't want to tap it?
We can do whatever you want. I just do this.
You can't tap it, because that's, you got to pay money
That's
for that.
trademark, yeah.
Can we just hold on and take a second and appreciate these card backs?
Yeah, they are just
These are gorgeous.
Star Trek. It's like the shirt. They wear it on the shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the thing. You ready for
Jacques,
this?
you can. I saw your comments here. You can reach out to the contact form. It's on our website. Just look for contact.
Here's the deal.
What you got?
You ready for this? This insanity? Okay, you're going to either love or hate this. All right, let's say I have John Luke Picard. Right?
Okay, you've got him.
Let's say I play him.
Okay.
Which I need to look up where I can even... I think I can just play him straight up to the planet and not on the ship.
Not on the ship?
But then they can beam up to the ship at that planet, that kind of thing.
Okay.
When you play a card, right? You meet the requirements for playing the card when you play it. Your opponent gets to look at the card. You have the option, any card you have in play after you play them, to have them be face down.
Now, hold on just a second. Say that again.
All right, I play
They
John Luke
look
Picard.
at it.
You can look at John Luke Picard. I tell you what it does. You see what it does, right?
So we got to play a little memory game here, too?
Isn't that crazy?
So do I get to know what you're moving when you're moving it?
So I don't think you do, right? And when I'm like playing a card that requires me like to have a officer or something, I have to reveal the card, but only long enough to show you that I meet that requirement.
Officer.
So it's like I don't have to like let you read the card, which is crazy. But part of it is the reality that at some point I might have like, because you can't see in my ship, right? Technically. Let's say I have like 10 cards stacked under this USS Nebula, right? I go to attempt something. It's like you're having to decide what dilemmas to throw at me, not 100% knowing what's where. You can see the ship, but you can't see the things under it.
Okay, but I know I will have seen everything that is face down at some point.
Yep.
Yeah. But if I have two things like face down here, do I have to make sure you know that this is the thing that you saw that was the captain and that's the thing whenever I move them? Or can I be like...
I think once they're face down, it does not matter anymore.
Put this over here, and then you're like, oh, now I don't know which one it is.
You can do whatever you want.
Okay.
It doesn't. We're not good enough for this to matter.
Right.
But ultimately, I just think that's insane.
Maybe we should just play face up. So wait, that's it?
It's basically
the whole thing?
Yeah. I'm shuffling my dilemma deck and putting it over here. I also noted that the dilemma deck and every card has the same card back, which is something that they apparently didn't learn.
Yeah, right. You can just easily get your dilemmas in there. So FGN Ray says you only have to reveal parts of the card that are needed for staffing requirements, etc. Ryan says once they're face down, your opponent doesn't know what's moving where. So I guess when you reveal them, you reveal them like this, just so they can see the traits or something?
Well, I picture...
If you have the name,
let's
then
say I have this
you
character,
could know what I'm doing.
And I have a ship, and she's on the ship, and I need to show you a side of the card. I could do that.
Okay.
Or
okay. Yeah, maybe that's right.
That
kind
of
like
thing.
what players would do.
Which is interesting because I get the idea that you, especially with beaming around, you don't know where stuff's at, and actually the act of moving things from one ship to another or to a planet and swapping around makes it harder for you to pin down what's going on.
Okay, so that's part of the gig.
Yeah.
Now, why would I want to fully staff a ship unless something tells me that I want to do it for a mission or otherwise? Is there any bonuses? Any kind of general stat? What does weapons mean? Is that just to complete missions? Can we fight each other? Why would I ever want to go to your missions with a ship? What are those things?
Well, these are all really good questions.
For somebody who was learning the rule book and teaching it on camera?
Yep.
Yeah, those are good questions for that person. I don't know who that is, but,
Yep, not me. Yeah, there is combat. Here's a...
Okay.
Some cards have game text allowing you to begin combat between the personnel. So you have to play a card that allows you to fight. For you to do so, you must have any number of personnel present with any number of an opponent's personnel. The combat involves all of your unstopped personnel there and all personnel there commanded by that opponent. So there's owned and commanded. That's another key differentiation. A card I own is one that I started the game in my deck.
Right.
You can take over an opponent's ship or something somehow.
Okay.
So then you command it at that point.
Yeah. Okay.
Often a card will require a certain skill or characteristic to begin combat. Total the strength of all your personnel involved in the combat. Your opponent does the same. Compare totals. The player with the higher total is the winner. If the totals are tied, there's no winner. So that's part of why it's face down. You don't know how much strength I have there.
Okay.
The card allowing you to begin combat also describes an effect you may use if you win the combat. Apart from the game text, there are no effects caused by winning or losing combat. So you just get whatever the
just
card
whatever
tells
the
you.
text is.
heavily card driven.
Okay.
That you just kind of have to see the cards to basically figure out what's going on. You also have a brig and captive. Some cards allow you to take personnel belonging to your opponent and place them in your brig. Your brig is part of your play area. So you just have like your core over here, which is your brig and your core. When your personnel is a captive, you cannot use any of its game text. You may take no actions involving that captive. If your unique personnel is a captive, you cannot play another copy of that personnel.
Okay. Captured.
When a card uses the phrase "you're captive" or "you have a captive," it refers to an opponent's personnel, etc., etc.
And apparently ships need to be fully staffed before they can move.
Okay.
That's the key thing.
There it is. Didn't say that in the staffing section. But
Chat's got us. I see Oldrick. I know Oldrick plays every one of these old CCGs, so. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to put my deck
this
up
is
here.
my dilemma deck, yeah.
If I can, I'm going to push you down to your picture
You can do
there.
whatever you
want. And then I
want.
figure we can play our ships in front, and so we can clearly kind of go any ship in front
I'm
is
down with
in
that.
front. Yeah?
All right.
The D20s are there for spinning down purposes. Okay. What do we draw? 7? 8?
I don't know.
20?
Draw 7 cards. Form your opening hand. And determine who goes first randomly. Even Steven. Steven, you're going to be first. I rolled the 2.
7. I'm going first. And you can only play... See how your headquarters says you may play cards there? That's the only place you can play cards. Only at your headquarters.
Okay, great.
That's a rule that I saw come through the chat.
Good to know. Thank you, chat, for being here. So the first thing you're going to do, you're going first. So you're going to get 7 resources to spend.
Okay, 7.
And then...
What? You know what? We got some fancy tokens. Huh? Here we go. You thought you were playing Star Trek. You're not playing Star Trek until you've got hyperspace tokens. 3. Wow. 6. 7. Look at that. That's nice. Put them right here. This is my money. You want some money? Hey, kid, you want some money? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's your money. Don't let our monies touch. That'd be confusing. Okay. You ready for me to start throwing down?
Yeah, man. You got 7 to use. I don't have any yet. It's your turn. So
Okay.
you go first. You get 7. And you can spend them. Remember, you can pay 1 to draw 1. But you do have to discard back down to 7 at the end of all of this if you have any cards left.
And range is just for moving, as far as we can tell.
Yep. Range is absolutely just for moving.
And if you don't draw into a ship, do you just not have a ship until you draw one? I guess this is the idea there.
I presume so. But you can just play characters here, right? Remember,
Yeah,
you can beam characters for free from a planet to the ship at that planet.
I'm gonna start playing. Let's start with Shinzon.
All right. It costs you 3.
Romulan Praetor. 3 done.
And I'd really...
Do you want to
Don't
not
care.
put these face down for the first bout?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, so we can have some reading. So that seems good. You know, this is the captain. So, you know.
Jason Lang saying, this is where how would you like a trip to Romulus come from? I really like to pick... Brian Roper says, I use my TC Keyforge tokens for so many different games.
Do these stick with me if I don't spend them now? Oh, you got to
Use
use
them
them
or lose
all.
them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's easy. Well, then, let's play Thexor for 2. You didn't know I had Thexor, did you?
I had no idea, yet here we are.
Let's also play Sabrin. Looks like a nice senator type there. Got some diplomacy and some integrity.
Nice.
Must not be a senator, am I right? Integrity greater than 0.
Did you pay for that guy?
I didn't. And then let's put Talvin in there too.
Don't forget, you aren't going to just draw cards randomly.
Oh, right.
You have to pay to draw cards, period.
Forever.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm going to pay 1 to draw a card.
All right. If you're looking for a ship, you know.
Here it is. No, wait, that's an event with a ship on it. Huh.
These missions are hard to complete.
Well, I just thought I'd get some cards out of my hand. And then order. Wait, was that the order phase that I just did there? That was the order phase, was it not? So I'm going to take an order, discard a card from my hand to draw a card.
It is an order, yeah. So order is like an action, right?
Yeah. So let's get old... the Riemann Mine seems important, but you know, I'm not reading the cards yet, so I'm gonna hit that ability there. Okay, done.
Okay. So then other orders you can take, just so you're aware, I'll recap them really quick. I won't say what they do, but
Don't imagine there's other orders.
you can do orders on cards in play. You can beam, you can move a ship, you can staff a ship. You can use range, which is moving the ship, obviously. You can attempt a mission, and that's it.
Yeah, pretty fascinating that you just... It sure seems like things would flow a little faster if you just had a ship to start with. How are you in space without a ship, I guess? Did you just get dropped off?
I mean, you're at your home planet.
Oh, okay.
Like, you're on the planet,
You
right?
already solved it. Figured it out.
Got him.
Even big brain.
All right. You just passing to me?
Yeah, sure.
Let's gain 7 action points. Let's pay 1. Actually, no. Let's just do the Netrunner rule. Pay 1, draw 1.
Yeah, start there, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a cool ability. I'll be using that surely.
Maneuver. What's a maneuver? No, nobody.
What, can you pull it? What's the name of the card?
It's called. I can't show it to you. It's gonna be like a big moment where I like fool you.
Well, you can say it so it shows up on screen. Just don't tell me what the card does.
It's called Cry Havoc.
Oh, I think I have.
Do you have one of those?
Yeah,
Maneuver. Play in your core. What is that?
So your core is next to your brig. It's just back here. It's like your home
So
base.
just kind of sitting.
Yeah,
here?
you play it and it just stays there until you want to use it.
Okay. Like a little location in Thrones, if you will.
I'm gonna spend another point to draw a card. Okay. Let me see. I'm gonna spend another point to draw a card. Don't mind me. I have 4 left.
What's up, David Whitfield? Morning, all. The problem with Nemesis, it's all action with poor plot development. The introduction of the Remians, good, with their background, minimal, and Shinzon are what frustrate many.
You ready for this? I'm gonna play Rix for 1, Lopez for 1, Martin for 1, and a tricoder for 1. What's a science personnel?
Jason, are we talking? It says science on it. Are you talking about the game? Wasted that awesome ship? No, you're probably not talking about the game. You guys are talking about Star Trek, aren't you?
Yes, they are. Lopez is getting the tricoder.
I have a person that says scientist on it.
Great.
Or science. I assume a scientist is one that does science.
Yeah, I'm into that. And then I'll pass to you.
Okay. Over to me. You did some stuff. I mean, that looks good over there.
I played 3 characters and I gave them a tricoder.
Oh, really? Very nice. All right.
Don't you
4,
love playing a
5.
game where you just don't care?
I just don't know enough to care.
Yeah, it's just like, well, I'm just gonna do some stuff until
See what happens. Star Trek. Spending 1 money to draw a card.
Space.
And I can keep doing that or just once? And keep
You
going?
need 7 cards if you want them. Don't forget your ability either on your dude.
Does download mean search your deck?
Yes.
Paying 3. Wait, what'd you say about my dude? A dude?
You have an order where you draw a card,
Yeah.
discard a card or something?
I'll get there, but check this out. Kretak. When you play this personnel, you may download a Diedrix class ship. Don't mind if I do.
He found his boat.
Oh, I'm about to roll right past you. I don't have the money though.
It's okay. You got the card.
Just want to see all my ship options. There's just the one. I just have the one ship. So maybe you choose one, when you're deck building. Okay, this is going into my hand.
Yep.
Don't think too much about it. And then, Smart Money says, now I've got 2 captains. I don't need 2 captains at all.
Well, you might have 2 ships eventually.
Nice.
Nice.
But I probably shouldn't play another captain, of which I have 1.
I mean, for me to threaten anything is I'm going to have to get a ship, move the ship here, get my guys on the ground, and start attacking.
Now, can I have 2 captains on the same ship, and one of them is just relegated to
A
non-captain?
captain's icon. So what's that name of that guy?
Kretak?
Yeah. So that
Kretak?
little like star icon,
Mm-hmm.
they can be treated as both a captain or a standard crew member.
Oh.
They can flex.
Beautiful.
Because you already have 2 captains in play.
I've got captains in different area codes, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to keep loading you down with captains. Because we put Talvin in there, too. A planet can have as many people on it as it wants, I suppose. Up to a certain point, of course. Then I'm going to use my ability.
All right.
I'm going to discard a card to draw one using Shinzon.
You got it.
You know, knowing almost nothing, I'm going to discard.
You know, I'm not that far away from being able to
I guess, yeah, hold on. Let me count up some things.
Yeah,
here.
it's a lot like Mythos in that way, right?
Strength, cunning. So let's look where we're at. 6, 11, 19, 24, 30. So I'm currently at 30 strength.
That's pretty good.
I need a 34 and a 34 here, or 34 and a 36. So I don't want to discard any strength, friends. All right, I'm going to discard an interrupt that I don't really know how to use. Oh, cool.
FGN saying you can't use Shinzon until after you spend all of your counters.
You have to spend them all? You have to?
What's he saying?
Well, it's an order. So when do we move to the order phase? I have to spend them all?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Orders are during a different phase.
Okay.
So it's play and draw cards, and then it's do orders.
So I'm going to pay the remaining 2 so I don't waste any money, and then discard this card to draw this card.
All right. Mine?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would take a lot longer for us to get to the point where we could actually complete missions, but I do not feel like that's the case.
I think we're about to do it.
Okay. Mine. Let's pay. I need cards, you know, but I want to get these out of my hand. All right, I'm going to pay 5 for the USS Nebula.
Oh, no.
And then
start beaming? Do you have to pay to beam?
No, I'll pay 1 to draw. So the plane and pain, pay 1 to draw, is the first phase. Then after that, you do all your stuff. So as an example, right now I'm going to beam all 3 of these up to the ship. Mm-hmm. And technically, it would just be a pile of cards on the ship that you couldn't normally see.
Yeah, just
which
a
is
little
kind
crew
of
over there.
Creepster.
Yeah.
And then I'm literally just going to pass to you. So I just beamed them up. We're on the ship. And
I'm the captain now. 7 money. Let's do a similar move here. So we're going to do the Dederidex.
Yep.
Now, can it only have the slots that it has on the side here? That many people, or can it have an infinite number of folks?
Infinite number of people.
Okay.
These ships are big.
Okay.
My ship is staffed, by the way. Just I'll have you know that.
I mean, I'm about to staff up as well.
I can roll. Yeah, you have plenty of staff.
Let me just see of my...
Oh, I like that guy that doesn't do anything for your ship. What's his name there?
Sabra. He's in the Senate.
But he doesn't have any... That's funny. He's useless.
A proper senator. Yeah. Okay. Shinzon's going to beam up there. Let's put Becky and Peppy and kids from the city there. There's some... Thexor's going to...
You have to spend that before you do any of this.
Take a slot. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm going to draw 2 cards.
Yeah. Classic. At the end of the turn.
At the end of the turn is when you want to do that.
Then you can start moving around.
You know, I don't know. Should I put them all on the boat, or should I hold one back just in case, you know, another ship shows up? Because you don't want to have to drop your captain off at the other. You're wasting time. So I'm gonna put him over here.
Also, technically, like if I am able to go to you and like destroy your ship somehow, that could I don't know. This might be possible.
Just in case.
That's not really the Enterprise way.
Just maybe.
You know, peace.
Okay. 8, 13, 19. It's a math game. 25, 31, 36 on the nose.
It's a math trait game, and then we have no idea how bad those dilemmas get.
Let's put them all on, man. It's fully staffed. Everybody's having a good time up here.
To the moon.
And then when do I start moving?
It's an order you can take.
For free.
Well, you have your range. So it's 2 here. Wherever you want to go, it's going to, like if you move to this thing, it's a 3. So it costs you 5 of your 7 range this round.
So I can get anywhere I want.
Yep.
And I can take as many orders as I want, or just one order?
As many orders as you want. Like beaming each of those characters was an order.
Okay. Beam them up. And, well, let's go try to do something. Do we have what we need? Leadership, navigation, officer, security. Officer. security, leadership. Oh, I better put him up here. And navigate. Wait, I don't have a navigator. Well, you can't go anywhere without a navigator.
Yep. Welcome to trying to staff a ship before you get off planet.
Well, the any key.
Draw and play, baby.
Okay. When do events happen? Just whenever they...
When they say they would happen, yep.
Okay. Event. What about this one? Do I have 2 geology? 1, 2. 2 geology, a leadership, and a security. All right, we're going to supervise the dilithium mine.
Okay, you gonna try to complete it?
Can I do that as well?
That's an order.
I just keep smacking orders as much as I want?
Yeah. You can order to the moon and back.
All right, let's try it.
Okay.
Let's do this order.
So let's
do this.
Let's walk this down.
Oh wait, but you get like 7 cards because I have like all these people.
How many
on this
people you
ship.
have, that's how many dilemma cards I get to draw.
Let me make sure. I think I need to do that anyway. So you're just going to get to try your best. 6, 12, 18, 23, 29, 37. Okay. I need leadership. I need them all on there. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I need them all on there.
Yeah, see if you can cut anyone from the crew.
You don't get to see them, though. They're just a ship to you.
Okay.
You don't know what's on
You ready
there.
for this?
Yeah.
When you begin a mission attempt, count the number of personnel involved and reveal the total. How many personnel are involved?
Let me check. And do I have to put them on the planet?
Oh,
beam
it's a
them
planet
down?
mission. So yeah, you have to beam them down
Beam
to the
them
planet.
down. Okay, they're consider them beamed. Should I leave somebody up there? Can you mess with me in an empty ship or no?
Especially Enterprise is like the least hostile people in the galaxy.
Okay.
So I would be not surprised if I couldn't do anything to you unless you engage with me first.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 personnel. Consider it 6.
Okay.
Shins on top there.
So when you begin, count the number. Then the player on your left hand claim multiplayer classic. I draw that many cards from my dilemma pile. So you said 6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I now examine those cards and choose which ones you must face, stacking them, and I can spend up to 6. I think 6 is just the default. Okay, so the thing is, if I don't choose them, they go to the bottom of my deck face up. And when I hit a face up card, I have to shuffle them all back. So it basically randomizes them again before I go back through the deck. It's not like Flesh and Blood where I get to stack the bottom.
Can't stack them.
Yeah. And it's worth pointing out, so this is a planet mission. There's a dilemma here called Limited Welcome, which can be space or planet. It's both. See how it's got the icon on the top
Oh,
left?
yeah, like a planet in space.
The Kolaran Raiders is only planet.
Yeah.
And then the Systems Diagnostic is only space.
Okay, got it.
Based on the icon on the top left.
I feel that.
Oop.
And you get 6 money to spend on dilemmas.
So I can spend up to 6 costs, but you're on the planet, so like this space only one I can't even use. That's why I was factoring that. And I can spend 6, so this probably seems fine.
You know, Credit can captain a ship, but doesn't have leadership. Now, why is that?
He's not a great leader.
Just put him in the chair anywhere.
Definitely that one.
High integrity, though. Shinzon got nothing in terms of integrity. So if you have things that kill the integrity captain, etc.
Well, I wouldn't know what's on there, you know what I mean? You're just telling me 6 people.
You probably have a pretty good idea. You saw me play. Well, that's true. I have multiple captains, you know?
Okay. All right. So I'm going to put those dilemmas down. The ones I don't choose are going face up under my deck. And then for my next trick,
Ross Gray checking in here. Hey, gents, just wanted to pop in and say I started listening to your podcast and love it. Hey, that's great.
That's awesome.
That's great, yeah. And if you're out there and you're not listening, consider it an open invitation.
Ross says, took forever to just leave a review because Apple requires a nickname to submit, and every nickname I came up with was already taken.
Well, thanks for the review.
All right, so you're going to
That's super
reveal
helpful.
these cards one at a time.
Okay.
And you're going to resolve them.
Okay, I'm starting with 1. Kolaran Raiders. No. Choose a personnel who has leadership or security to be stopped. If you cannot, randomly select a personnel to be killed. And these people won't add anything to the... Well, then I'm already done. I need all of my people.
So you need more people.
I need more people. Leadership or security. Okay. So I've got 2 options. I'll give you Thexor is going to take on those raiders. He's stopped.
Okay. Then you reveal the next one.
We're pinned down. Randomly select a personnel to be stopped. If you still have 9 remaining, randomly select a second. If you still have 10 remaining, randomly select a third. So that's kind of the answer to the pile
So if you
dudes in a
go with
ship
14,
card.
it gets really bad.
Yeah. So random one is going to get stopped. Talvin. Okay.
And then last but not least,
Final card. Binar's password. Unless you have a personnel who has 2 engineer or a personnel who has 2 programming. Let's see. That is an untrue. I do not have that. Your opponent chooses an engineer or programming personnel to be stopped. So you're looking for engineer or programming. So the only one you can choose is this one.
you choose it.
And it says your opponent. Am I your opponent or are you my opponent?
You're my opponent. You're choosing because I don't get to look at your cards.
Okay, I stopped an engineer.
Okay. So, looking at this, if it doesn't tell you where the card goes, then you passed it and it goes under the planet. It'll be this direction.
Okay, so we only have so many dilemmas in the game.
That's another problem I realized as you were reviewing these. But obviously now you do attempt your check and you fail.
I failed.
So then your mission is concluded and you did not complete it.
Nobody dies, but I'll put them here to signify that you have no idea.
Ryan Rober's saying I choose. All right. So you would read it and my card says your opponent, but you're reading it, so it's me.
That's right. Yeah, I'm with that.
All right. Still your turn.
I'm finished with missions. No more orders.
Okay.
Captain.
So then you discard down to 7. It's my turn.
Done.
Captain. All right. I will pay 6 for the USS Sovereign.
Another ship?
Yep. I'll pay 1 for Van Orton. He has a wrestler cousin. Then I'm at the end of my round. I'll go ahead and beam him up. Scotty. See here.
Is that from the original, like, Star Trek, the Beam Me Up, Scotty? Is that the Shatner version?
Yeah.
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 It was more like Twilight Zone, wasn't it? You seen the old ones? The old Star Treks?
I've seen a couple of them.
They're more like the old
Also,
Twilight Zone.
Beam Me Up Scotty and Scotty were in the reboot because they started with that era in the movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. I like that we can flex on how little we know about this to people who care a lot more about it than I have in my history.
Hey, I have made no attempt to hide the fact that I love Star Wars and did not watch Star Trek until I was 30.
But Star Trek's the jam. Come to find out.
It is really good.
Okay, I don't draw anything, then I get my money.
Pay him.
Okay, 7. Just 7, no matter what, all the time. I'm going to draw a card. Now, I can oh wait, that's a dilemma. I can move, pick up something, move, and try that again. Leave them on the planet.
But you only have so much range, right? So
Yeah,
it would cost
7.
you 3 to move and 3 to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I got that in spades.
David Vedral asking, so of all the dead games, are there any of them where the rules complexity was not worth the fun/theme of the game? Yes. There was. I would have to look back at the games. But there were, like, Raw Deal, at least the way we were playing it, was not worth the the headache to me. There's a lot of ways I would streamline that to make it better, but all that pre-match stuff was too much. What was that game we were playing? There was a fighting game that I was not
The Dragon Ball one?
No, that was fine. It was like headache inducing. You remember that? Like we got done, it was just like,
Was it a fighting game, you said?
I think so. It was in our spree of fighting games.
Uh-huh.
It was just a lot.
There was a big one. There was a weird one. I don't know what that one was, though. Okay, well, I'm going to play a Cry Havoc. No.
UFS may have been it.
Yeah, UFS. Yeah. Yeah. All right, I'm going to pay 1 for Norm into the headquarters. Norm himself in the headquarters. Then I'm going to pay 2 for this event. Can I do this during the marshalling phase or the play things phase? Or is the fact that the top left...
If it doesn't say order, then you would play it during the play cards phase.
Okay, it's the play cards phase. It's an event. It's called the DRC Archive. Count the number of cards in your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shuffle them.
I dare say.
And place them on the bottom of your deck to draw an equal number.
Nice.
So
He's
I'm just going to
digging.
get 5 new cards here.
Looking for your other ship, eh?
I'm looking for something. Oh. So I need more, I need a navigator. Oh, there he is. Jorvis himself. Jorvis. You're in.
Looks like a navigator.
Team Jorvis. We're going to go to the orders phase.
That has to be staffed.
First order. Beam, beam, beam.
Yeah, beam up.
Beam, beam, beam. Second order. Spin 3 range to come here. Beam, beam, beam. Third order. Spin 3 range to come here. Beam them all. Beam the whole crew. We are going to supervise this mine. I will not let any dilemmas set me back. Attempt the mission.
All right. How many characters you got? 9?
9.
All right. I get to look at 9 cards.
Just enough to not be 10.
Yeah.
Strategically. Just in case you have pinned down.
Some of these are crazy.
Oh, hold on. Ray says you subtract 1 for each dilemma under the mission. So only 6,
Shuffle these.
technically.
That's good to know.
So as you face more dilemmas there, it becomes easier to do the mission. That makes sense. That makes sense.
So it penalizes you for just going as heavy as you can every round against them.
Thank you, Ray.
All right, like you.
I want to fight.
Nope, not you.
It's not really a game about fighting, though, is it? It's a game about exploration.
Yeah.
To go where no man has gone before. Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
Was it man, really?
Yeah. Man in the proper noun version of it.
Well, there's just so many non-mans in the
Mankind.
Star Trek. I guess mankind. Okay, I get it.
Yeah. They were really good about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I've noticed that. They were really, really hip and with it. Breaking some...
That was part of what
Breaking some
made people
norms.
so excited about it. They were very... the social dialogue around it was really strong. All right, we'll put those dilemmas there.
Okay, time to reveal. Dun, 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 dun. The Raiders again. I'll make short work of these Raiders.
What's it say?
Kolaran Raiders. Choose a personnel as leadership or security. Oh, wait, hold on. Do I even have do I have to have 2 geology or geology twice in my stack?
Either one. It's the same thing.
It is the same thing?
2 geologies or geology twice. 2 eggs or an egg.
All right, so I'm going to have to get the abacus out now for a second.
Yep.
Leadership and security. Okay, so there's security. There's leadership.
In T&J, apparently, they changed this to no one.
Oh, that's cool. I don't have a problem with man. I just didn't know if the Enterprise was always also aliens exploring together. I guess it started as human beings going out.
Yeah. Yeah, space.
I just associate it with a lot of aliens on the ship, so I didn't know. Security and leadership. This is turning. It's one of those games you don't even know if you're playing it. Leadership, security.
I can
Okay.
definitely see
My 3
both the
options.
appeal of the face down and like that kind of stuff,
Okay.
but man,
Exhausted.
especially a multiplayer version would be insane. Okay, so then that
Norm
goes under, which is cool.
Norm had to deal with these raiders.
So the more I try to stop you, the easier it's gonna get.
That's right. You should just not stop or not try. Okay.
Here's this one.
Now I resolve this one. Antidine assassins. No, it's like fish people with curtains.
Look
With little
like
shower
ice
curtain
fish
people there.
Yeah.
Unless you have a person that has 2 anthropology or 2 telepathy. I do not. Your opponent chooses an anthropology or telepathy personnel to be stopped. Okay. Anthropology or telepathy.
Let me go back through this deck again.
There's an anthropologist.
All right,
For your
great.
perusal, there's an anthropologist.
And what's the skill test you're trying to pass ultimately?
It's not
Strength?
important strength, yeah. And you got well,
Well,
eighth
stop,
one of them.
stop that thing.
Okay.
It stopped or kills?
Stopped.
All right, stopped.
Okay.
Then
This
you
is
complete it,
passed.
yeah.
Okay, now can I still do the mission? Let's start by checking out my geology stat.
Apparently, my sound effect was very similar to how they actually sounded in the show.
Oh no, you took my geologist out of the fight.
I am a Star Trek god.
It can't be stopped.
It will be painful.
Okay, well, I didn't do it. I'm still not supervising the mine. There's just, I mean, I feel like I have supervised the mine. It's not a mine worth having.
How many completed things you got out of
There's
there?
so
though?
many
Like
problems
5
on this mine.
at this point?
Yes, 5.
So like I'm -5 choices, and I'm running that dilemma deck, man. Like eventually, I won't be able to stop anything.
I would say abandon a mine with this many dilemmas. That's not the kind of thing you want in a mine. And then I'm gonna use. I'm still in the order phase, or I'm gonna use Shinzon's ability. Discard a card to draw a card. You know, I've learned that that's probably okay. 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 Done.
Mine?
Yeah.
7 points.
Okay. 7 points. Okay.
That's a good card. Okay. Let's.
You gonna do something, or you still just building a ship over there? You
Let's draw 2.
got the recruiting stage of the game here.
I'm here to win, dude. Let's pay 1 for Daniel Kwan.
And then, Ray, does it matter if they're stopped on Zach's turn? Like, is that a thing? Like, do they stay exhausted until the start of my turn, or when do they come?
question.
When do they become unstopped?
I'm gonna play that dare say archive as well.
I dare say.
We'll shuffle, and I'm gonna draw 5.
Oh, I get it. Oh wow, they set this game up much different than us.
Let's pay 1 for Davies, and then I will draw a card. Then let's beam around.
They're really into the cards being face down. That was kind of the selling point, it seems like, of this one.
Yeah. And let me look. I'm gonna beam my cats around here.
What's up, Beast and Bruce? Says your video coverage of Skytear has been awesome, and I appreciate it. Got me into the game. That's great. It's a game worth getting into. We saw that too, Ryan. We're just the Coast announcing a new Lord of the Rings magic set and a 40K magic set, I guess, of some kind.
Big deal.
Watch out. Getting the band back together.
All right. Well, they're just gonna all hop aboard the same ship. Okay. And then I'll draw a card. Your turn. The mine is yours to have. Yeah, the Magic Lord of the Rings set. I mean, I'll draft a box. You know what I mean?
Draft one up. Draft one
Get
up.
that ultra super rare Gandalf the White.
I'm doing this mission. You will not stop me.
I'm going to allow it. Ian asking if anyone's playing a Flesh and Blood skirmish event this weekend. I'm not, but I wish I was. Are you playing in one? I'm going to start getting in on some of those. I got to get those points.
Draw one. Treasury person. Okay, draw one. Oh, yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. Play Movar there at the home base. Play Rabble at the home base. Play Chagrith at the home base. I may already have him out here. Hold on. Yeah, I've already got him. Can't. You gotta stay home. Okay. Hey. I'm not even. Let's just try a mission. Can I give an order to try a mission?
You can. How many cards do I get to draw?
I'm gonna waste a money. So sorry. I guess I could draw one with that money.
Yep.
If only I'd done that sooner. Seems not a great ability, but... Oh, I see, from hand. What?
How many cards do I get to draw?
9 still?
Minus...
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 minus... 2, 3, 4. 9 minus 5?
4.
4 cards?
Hmm.
That's right. Drawing right at the end there. You're at your best when you're seeing your options at the very end. That's when you want your options. Yes, keep wasting those dilemmas. You will not defeat me. Wavefront. Dilemma. Unless you have a personnel who has 2 astrometrics or 2 navigation. All right, hold on. I may have an answer. So, is this considered personnel facing a dilemma?
Yeah.
Do I have to choose who faces it? Or, I mean, it seems to reference... Maybe it means all personnel.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, wait. That's space. I'm not going to play that.
Okay.
I can't play that here.
Yeah, you can't. No waves on a planet.
I'm just going to pass.
Pass.
You score it.
I scored it. What do I do? Take it to me?
I just turn it sideways.
All right. Can I still go? I still have orders?
You tell orders, man. Hop on that ship and go to the next
Beam them
jam.
up. And then we got 1 and a 2, right? So that's 3 to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Can I not just do this one as well?
You can.
Let's make sure we've got it.
But I will try to stop this one.
Leadership, I've got. Navigation, I think I still don't have. Wait, do we have it here? Where's my navigator?
There's that fish guy.
Oh, here he is. He's on it. Jorvis. We've
Yeah.
got it now. Okay. So we got navigation. We've got an officer, I assume. Security. Strength greater than 36. I'm pretty sure. 9 cards, about 5 each. You're probably okay. Mission. I'm investigating a coup to win the game.
No, you need 100 points.
Oh.
It's pretty 70.
3. Okay.
Yeah. All right. How many personnel? 9? I'm going to draw 9. So I
Yeah,
drew 4. I
you
got
got
to a
9.
face-up card, so I shuffle these.
Oh, you get them back, though. Yeah, okay.
But it's not like in the order I
You
discarded.
didn't expect me to play my aggro Romulan deck, did you?
Well, I'm not surprised. How many crew you got? 9?
9.
And this is a planet mission?
Yeah.
And you also have to complete a space mission to win, which you would have to do a 3rd one. So
Yeah.
that's fine.
They made sure I had to do that. Hodeback, that's great. He says, I needed some Magic the Gathering set. I'm done gambling on getting what I want out of a game, so good luck to all those who try. LCGs have spoiled me, and I'm not going back.
Wow.
Hey, what are you laughing about? Quit that laughing.
Interesting. Man, this is crazy.
Now, hold on. I might have to choose a personnel to face the dilemma. Like, when you're choose one or stop it or whatever. Turn sequence. Yeah, showing your cards, order of playing and drawing, beaming, moving, using range, attempting a mission. Yeah. Examine. Choose your opponent cannot choose any dilemmas. Yeah, your opponent takes the. Yeah.
Apparently, for the first several sets, it was just the need for speed in second edition. Like whoever could just make it happen fast won the game.
Okay, I think
We'll see.
there.
I have one.
One. Game's over. Or Orneron threat. Randomly select a personnel to be stopped. That's the first step. Okay, we'll do that.
Shuffle them up.
There's a period there, so I assume we do that first.
Look, wow.
I've got so much security. It's fine. It's fine. They're not dead. Maybe.
Chagrith.
He's nothing.
And then what does it say?
And then it says, unless I have diplomacy and medical or 2 security. I happen to believe that I have 2 security, so I'll just start there. Security. Security. They would be killed if I didn't. Then all your other personnel are stopped. Oh, unless. No, it happens no matter what. This is like the big one. Unless you have diplomacy or 2 security, they're killed. Then all your other personnel are stopped, and this dilemma returns to its owner's dilemma pile. You always just have a forever to kill me forever? Ridiculous.
Well, unless you have diplomacy and medical or security too, which you do, that personnel is killed, then all your other stuff is stopped.
So you think everything that follows is that? It's the classic card templating question. Is it saying, if you have this, they're killed. If you don't have it, they're not killed, but then you still stop all other personnel?
Unless you have this, the personnel is killed. Then all your other personnel are stopped, and the still never returns to its owner's dilemma pile.
Hard to say.
But I mean, like, I could just permanently stop you at this point.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so who was stopped? It was this guy. What was his name? Chagrith?
He's right here.
Here he is. Okay, so he was stopped, and then I passed your dilemma, right?
I think it goes away, right?
Yeah, it's done. Consider it done. All right, now we got to see if we can actually do this. Leadership. It's mythos. Yes. Navigation. Yeah. Glad you didn't pull him. Officer. Gotta have an officer on there. Yeah. Check. Strength greater than 36. 10. 16. 24. 29. 35. We got it.
You got it. You scored it.
Scored. Dunked.
So now, here's my question about him being stopped. I wonder if he's stuck on that planet.
I don't think I can beam him. Can I beam somebody who's stopped? Probably not. Doesn't seem fair. Ray, do we have he can't do anything until he's unstopped.
Okay, so he's stuck.
So let's see. So I've got 4 range left on this ship.
So you can't go here.
That's right.
Or here.
Cost me 5. Okay, so you got it. The outer reaches are kind of a problem. So we're gonna spin that 4 to go here. Or beaming up.
Did you want to beam anyone up before you
Oh,
move?
sure. We'll put them all in. Chagrith will come get you later. And then I can go 4, 7 next turn. Pick him up, and we're done.
And I better be able to stop you.
That's right.
Mine?
Yours.
Or I better be able to win right here, right now.
What are you doing over there on this planet,
Derping.
Chagrith? Our intelligence report indicate that there's been a coup d'etat on the Zinkethi homeworld. Well, Chagrith has got it under control. One side of Remus always faces the sun. Due to the extreme temperatures on that half of their world, the Remans live on the dark side of the planet. Just in case you didn't know that.
Draw a card. He's digging. There it is. I'll draw a card.
At least you built a nebula floating in space there.
I did.
It's worth.
Lian,
Sue?
Jean-Luc Picard.
Oh, look at him go. There he is.
Then we'll beam. Then we're gonna go to. Well, I'm already going to orders. Let me see. Where's?
You gonna split your forces here?
No, they're all on the one boat. So I need to make sure I have what I need to have here.
This is more like Mythos than anything else.
Agreed.
Unless we start fighting. Like, do we have that in us? Is that anywhere?
I have some.
I think this Cry Havoc is how you do it. Destroy this event, begin an engagement involving your leadership personnel. If you win, randomly kill an opponent's personnel. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. I discarded those mines. They're so good. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Gives all my ships +3 range. That's crazy.
I'm looking for my traits. Hold on.
Picard has an order on his card, apparently you should pay attention to.
Yeah.
Engagements are ship battles, combats are personal battles. Okay, that's good to know. Engagements are ship battles. Okay. That's funny, right? It's one of these games where you get to read a lot, you know?
I'm consistently missing something.
You ever wake up one day and just say, I'm consistently missing something? You have eggs this morning for breakfast?
Yeah, sure did.
You still have eggs every morning?
Every morning. 3 eggs, an apple, and usually some sort of vegetable.
Vegetables for breakfast?
You just gotta do
like
it.
a carrot or something?
Carrots and spinach are top of my list, yeah.
I mean, you throw some spinach in those eggs, don't you?
You do, and it's
You got
better
to.
than nothing.
You put them in early or do you put them in late?
Late.
Yeah.
They crisp up instead of getting soggy.
Very good.
Very good. We can still be friends.
Carrots and eggs is kind of a weird
Alright.
combo, but
Well, you don't normally eat them at the same time.
yeah.
Like,
Okay.
eat the eggs, and then yeah.
And then later on is carrot time.
Hmm.
You don't have any, you don't need toast, you know, no carbs really.
I mean,
They have to
apple.
be scrambled?
No.
You ever have them other ways? Poach them? Or?
On the weekends, usually. I have more time to deal. I can't do anything. I'll pass.
Well, hey, someone's losing this game.
Me.
All right, here comes.
So literally, like, on all of these, there. Oh no! Wait! I'm gonna keep going. I just realized why.
But I'm already
I'm
here.
an idiot.
I'm already ready.
Hold on, go back. I'm an idiot. This is embarrassingly stupid.
What were you missing?
All right. So, like, on geological survey, it says geology, physics, science, cunning greater than 30.
Yeah.
I was looking for cunning.
Oh, right.
That's one of the key stats on each of those. I was like, I keep being short one trait. All right. We're going to move. 4.
Also, yeah, don't forget about the tricoder. It says Darth Nixilus.
Yeah, that wasn't the problem.
You got geology for days.
So I might divide up to try to divide and conquer here. I do have geology for days. So the tricoder means that all of my scientists gain geology, which is good. So geology, physics, science. Hold on.
Yeah, now you're to the fun part of the game here. Let me arrange my troops.
There's that.
We have to figure out who's on what ship, beam them over, and go explore The proper missions.
Ship officer. Oh, or security too. Jeez. Security. This is crazy, honestly.
I mean, it's forever more like Mythos CCG than anything else to me. Except Mythos had more in-depth stories,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting. But it does feel similar, you know. It's so similar because you got to just read your cards and say like, well, can I make the line work?
Okay. I don't have enough to split, so we're all gonna stay on the same ship. And they're going to move to the geological survey. Costs 4 points of movement. It has 9, so I'll basically get to move
Whoa.
twice. And then I'm going to attempt this mission.
You can just keep slapping, right? So you can go to the next one too and do another mission if you want.
Yep. But I can only move 9, so that's 4. To move here would cost me 5.
I can only gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha. How many do I get? 9?
No. 8.
Not 9, you idiot.
Vastly different.
6 points?
Uh-huh.
You have 9.
Mm-hmm.
9 is the magic number for that pinned down card, just in case you were wondering.
I have 8.
Oh.
That's why you drew 8. You said 9, and then I said 8, and then you drew 9 anyway.
No, I drew 8. I
Okay, great.
drew 8.
We're on the same page.
Yeah. I just want to look at your, what do you need? You need geology, physics, science, and cunning. Geology, physics. Okay.
Also, apparently in the original Star Trek, all of our planets and stuff formed one line and their position mattered.
Oh, I like that.
The movement where you can go anywhere is one of the things that changed in 2nd edition.
And I get 6 of these.
6 points worth, yeah. Do your worst, Wooly. Oh, wait, it's a planet. They're beamed down.
Yeah, there is planet stuff. Geology, yeah, okay. Okay. Well, here we go. I'm going to do it like this. And then we're going to do this. And then hit you with that at the end. Just a 1, 2, 3.
That's what I did the first time. When I really didn't need to try very hard to stop you, I put everything in it.
And these go where?
Bottom of that dilemma deck, face up. Once you hit a face-up card, just shuffle back up and keep drawing. Okay. All right, here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
Microbrain, you wanted to start with the 3?
Yes.
Okay. Unless you have a personnel who has 2 exobiology or a personnel who has geology 2.
And I'm just taking, this is a shot in the dark, right? Unless I just remember it because I've seen it and then you flipped it down.
Yep. So I have to have someone who has a 2 in that stat.
Yeah. I never had any of that stuff, so I figure maybe you don't either. Or maybe you do.
So I choose an exobiology or geology to be stopped. Well, I will do that. I have that for sure.
Oh, you got 1,000 geologists, don't you? Because of that data pad. Exopad or whatever?
Anything with science also has geology.
Just in general?
Because of my tricoder.
Oh, okay.
So I don't have a 2. So I have to choose. No, your opponent chooses an exobiology or geology personnel to be stopped.
These are all your cards?
That's the entire.
What's that one?
That's the tricoder.
Okay. And so anyone with science also has geology.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's think about this.
FGN saying skill tracking was a super important skill in the early sets.
Okay, what do you need there? Geology, physics, and science. Hold on. I'll re-choose. Technically, the game tells us that you just resolve it because your opponent's
fail.
an idiot. So we'll do this one instead. We'll just pin you down. The only other two.
Pin down. Randomly selected personnel to be stopped. Oh no. This could be bad. That art on pin down, or the image on pin down is great. There goes Rick's. Double X, RIXX.
And then the final.
All right, that goes under here. Thank you. Kolaran Raiders.
You never expected
Choose
the
a personnel
Raiders.
that has leadership or security to be stopped. If you cannot, randomly select one to be killed. All right, my friend. This looks like a job for you, Lopez. There goes Lopez. This goes under.
He handled the Raiders. All right, can you still do it?
All right, I need geology, physics, and science. So physics,
If you've got science, you've got geology.
science, and geology. And then I need cunning greater than 30. So we have 6, 11, 16, 22, 27. So I was stopped. Okay.
Now
So-
you could just try that again, right?
Yeah, but I don't have enough cunning because these guys
Oh,
are
right.
stopped.
They're all stuck.
So I will literally pass the turn and see if you can win or not here.
Do you have more pin downs? How many pin downs are in the
I'm
deck?
not telling you anything. I'm about to get dunked on.
I'm about to get pinned. Okay. I get 7 monies. Transporters. Okay, cool. Okay, there's an abduction plot. That's cool. 3. All right, I'm going to pay 3 for Etana Joel.
Apparently, anyone that fails a mission is stopped.
They're all stopped.
So they would be stopped for that round. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Then I'm going to draw. I'm going to draw. And you guessed it. We're drawing.
Drawer. All right. Which mission are you going to try to dunk on me with?
Well, we're going to have to do some research first. Anthropology.
Oh, God, that's so good. You're like,
I'll be right back.
I don't know which mission I can do, but I'll be back in 20.
Anthropology. Archaeology. Engineer, and programming. So that seems good. Anthropology. Got our anthropologist. Got we got archaeology anywhere? I don't have any archaeologists, man.
Perfect.
Oh, Chagrath. I can pick him up on the way. That'll solve that problem unless you take him out. Engineer and programming. Engineer and then programming. So I've got all that. Cunning. I assume with all these cards I'll have enough.
Now, you can't pick them up specifically because your ship, or you can't pick them up this round because your ship's going to have to be staffed.
Well, it's staffed by all these people.
Yeah, but then it's going to have to move 4 to get here, pick them up, and then it would have to move 5 more to get there.
Yeah. Okay, I see. So you got to turn. You got to turn and make some moves here. I can also do transporters, treachery, cunning, and other things. Transporters. Oh, here he is. Transporters. And you really want redundancy, you know? That's kind of the name of the game here.
You definitely do.
Transporters, okay. Treachery, I feel like I have plenty of that in the Romulans.
I also think in retrospect, playing 2 ships, incorrect.
Cunning, intelligence, leadership, or law and officer. Yeah, I've got that one. I've got that one a bunch. So let's beam them all. Sorry, Chagrath. We're getting out of here, buddy. I'm gonna move 3 there.
You know you can move straight there.
Yeah, I just want to see it though. That leaves me with 4 points, and I can move 3, 4.
But your range is a 7.
What?
Your range on your ship is a 7.
Yeah, but 3 plus 4 is 7.
3 plus 4. 3 plus 1 is 4.
Yeah.
2 plus 1 is 3,
Right.
which is 7.
And 3 plus 4 is 7.
We did it. You said 8, I think.
Anyway, back to math. These guys are going down to the.
I'm just trying to get in your brain.
Wait, no, they're in the ship now, right?
Yeah,
This is a ship. It's an abduction plot. Deep space near Risa. Ambush Starfleet officer en route to shore leave. Oh, just to mess with you.
That's right.
Just kill somebody.
So how many crew members you got there?
Nah, 2, 5, few.
It's a lot, right?
$12.
3, 6, 9, 12. Then I get 6 points. Look at the worst of these. And so the dilemmas I'm choosing as well, matching the skills that are listed there, make a lot of sense, right?
Yeah, I think so. But it also means I probably brought somebody who can do them if I'm playing the game.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm supposed to get, there's an ability I'm supposed to trigger here. Matches her ship's affiliation. Okay, so I'm going to discard 2 cards and draw 2 cards. So I've got an Etana Joel ability that can discard a card to draw, and then I've got the main guy. Where'd he end up? Shinzon. He can discard. So I'm going to discard 2 to draw 2. Don't worry about me. Maybe something will. Nope, doesn't matter.
This is going to be really interesting, actually.
Oh, Ray's saying you can spend 1 for dilemmas for each person in the attempt, not just 6. So you could spend 12 on dilemmas?
Really?
That surely can't be true. Probably is. Ray knows what he's doing.
Cannot be higher than the number of personnel you have attempting the mission. So it's not 6 at all.
Oh, yikes.
It's okay.
Well, we're going to do a lot. So at the end of the game, it's just a ton of dilemmas until somebody can win, right? Seems.
Mm-hmm. And I can't use planet side stuff. I got to be careful about that. Don't want to pull Steven.
Oh, come on.
All right. There you go.
All right, what do we got here? First of all, we're going to face a limited welcome. I hope you'll forgive the darkness. We're not comfortable in the light. Randomly select 9 personnel. All others are stopped. Place this dilemma on this mission. When you attempt this mission again, after your opponent draws dilemmas, he or she may take this and add it to those drawn. Wait a minute, what? You just get this forever?
Every time you try to complete this mission. You have 12, right? So it's 3 random?
Mm-hmm. Can I just get them from the top?
Sure.
Ugh. Ow. Yikes.
Face your next dilemma.
I'm just going to put them down here. Man, I wish they had different card backs or something. That'd be helpful. Okay, my next dilemma. A wavefront. Unless you have a personnel that has 2 astrometrics or 2 navigation. I think I have an answer to this. Wait, did somebody die? Hold on. I need to see if I can even complete this. We're going to have to do math for a second. Okay. 6.
Oh, wait, I need to run to my office to get the abacus.
16, 22, 27, 33. Okay, we've got what we need. Now 2 astrometrics or 2 navigation. Okay. Astrometrics or navigation. Ah, come on.
Did they get dunked on over here?
Maybe. Okay. Astrometrics. No astrometrics for navigation there. No astrometrics for navigation. Okay, fine. Fine. I don't have that. So then your opponent chooses one of these. Astrometrics or navigation is all I've got. Get Rabble out of there?
That one.
Okay. And then the final dilemma. Oh, this goes under here now. Oh no, this will go.
It's under there, but I gotta get it back in my hand every time.
Place it on it. So it's just like you just shut it down.
You're not welcome in these parts.
Command decisions. A great looking Picard there. Although there are as many command styles as there are ships in the fleet, all the best captains share the ability to make quick decisions in a crisis. Choose leadership or officer to be stopped. Okay. Leadership or officer? Do I still have my transporters? I don't know. This one's fine.
All right.
Now back to the counting.
And this goes under, I think.
That's right. It goes under. So now transporters. Do I have it? No. It's gone.
He got stuffed.
Got stuffed. All right. They all failed.
Great. All right, my turn? Or are you going to keep going?
I'm going to just go down to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. With this card, Talbot. He's already out here. All right, over to you.
All right, let's draw a card.
That's funny,
Draw a
John.
card.
Yeah. I'm busting my head on my own stationary property.
Wow.
It really makes you feel like an idiot.
I wasn't going to say anything.
What'd you do? I ran into a stationary
card.
object.
I'm drawing a bunch of cards I already have. Draw a card. Not helpful.
Are you doing some of those missions there?
Draw
The
a
mission?
Oh, now I draw you.
Is it the Enterprise?
Nope. They didn't come with the Enterprise. It's a lame duck deck. 2 costs for Andrea Brand. She's amazing. She's the law, first off. 2 leadership, navigation,
leadership.
officer,
Wow.
and transporters. And she's an admiral. She means serious business.
What's she got a planet icon on her for? Can't she only be on a planet?
I don't know.
Is she friends with the planets? Hold on, I'll be right back.
Earth.
Earth. Nice.
Don't know what that means.
Earth.
Maybe, I don't know. Okay,
Just
let's
Earth
go to
stuff.
orders. May as well beam her up.
Oh, yours have different planets that they're from. Maybe mine are all just Romu.
Romulans.
Planet Romu.
I'm gonna try to get this geological survey out of the way. Go ahead and try to stop me.
How many do I get?
-3 to 5.
Is this a planet mission?
It is.
And I get 5 as my max, yeah?
Good to know. FGN. Unless they have a little dot next to their name, they're not technically unique.
How is it possible that I can have this person in multiple places? Or is a Sabran is a type of thing, not the name of a thing?
I mean, I have a Lopez. I assume that's a guy, but he's not unique.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Changes a lot.
that's interesting. Wait. All right, well, have some of this and have some of this. In that order.
All right. Command decisions. Choose a personnel with leadership or officer to be stopped. You look like the man for this job. Yep. Ricks. Next. Authentic artifacts. Unless you have personnel who has 2 anthropology or a personnel who has 2 archaeology. Let's look.
If you're like me,
No.
it's never true.
Your opponent chooses an anthropology or archaeology personnel to be stopped. All right. Archaeology, that's going to hurt.
Mm-hmm. He's gone. I don't know. Wouldn't it be funny if I could kill him? I can't.
No.
Nah, Van. Trading a 4 for a 1. Trading up.
All right, you got to stop one of these.
I get to stop one?
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah, of course. He's stuck.
The captain.
And then that resolves.
Yeah, you
And
beat
then I
it, though.
total up my cunning,
You still have your traits?
which is, let's see.
You got
Yeah, I have
different
one guy
areas,
that has
yeah.
all those traits. Cunning is 6, 11, 16, 21, 27, plus 5, 32. I succeed.
All right, you did it.
Touchdown. But if I move, I have to leave old Picard behind.
Yeah.
You son of a gun.
I'm the captain now.
I will not move. I'm going to go ahead and pass to you.
How many limited welcomes do you think are in the limit deck?
Over here?
I would know. Oh my gosh, there's 2.
Put them both on the
Yeah.
harder one to pass. And then it gets saucy.
So what you're saying is you've got to do it with only 9 people.
Yeah. Grr.
Okay, well, let's get
You thought you were
some-
going to win like 4 turns ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. What is winning even? 1 for Dralvac, because he's not unique. 1 for Chagrath, who's also not unique. 1 instance of Chagrath. And then I don't have any. I need captains. They're all unique.
I'm the captain now.
Let's draw. No, I'm gonna play this thing. No, let's draw. Draw 1. Draw 2. Draw 3. Play Vexor. Okay, we got a new crew building up over here. Then these guys are gonna get beamed. I'm gonna take a trip to Funky Town here, and then take another trip down to Funky Town right here. And I'm gonna beam some other things. Although I suppose I'll leave them here for now, just in case you got funny business, and then I'll beam them down next turn.
Noted.
The end.
My turn?
Yeah.
Get my points. Let's draw a card. There he is. Let's draw a card. Oh, yeah. My man.
Transporter's treachery. Transporter's treachery. Transporters.
Let's go 2 for Robin Leffler.
I don't know anything about transporters.
1 for Martin. 1 for Daniel Kwan. 1 for Lopez. And then we'll go to my orders. We're going to beam them up. This party is going to navigate over here. And then we're going to try to complete this host meta phasic shielding test. Vitan says, forgive my skepticism, Doctor, but your claims are somewhat extravagant. Protect the shuttle within a star's corona? Not even your own government believes it can be done. I'm here to prove it can be.
Hold on. I just had to do some quick maneuvering here. Just getting things ready. Just making some decisions. Okay. So how many cards do I draw?
7. 8. Who do we appreciate?
How much crew do you have over there asking for a friend?
8.
Wait, okay, I need to reshuffle these. You have 8 crew. That's a good amount. 8 crew should be easily stuffed. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. What are the keywords over there? Just curious.
Diplomacy, engineer, navigation, science.
And is this a, what kind of a mission is this? Wait, you're on your home planet. What are you?
I'm right here.
Okay.
I'm just looking.
You're out in space?
Space. The final frontier.
Dun, dun, dun. You don't need any geology or anything?
Nope.
Okay. And I have 8 to spend here. 8 to spend. I don't want this one. I don't want this one. Don't need that one really. Okay. Let's do this. And that one I'll save. Okay. Consider yourself dilemmaed.
Command decisions. Choose a personality as leadership or officer. All right, well, we're going back to you know who.
I'm going back to
Rick.
the wisdom.
Completed. Stellar core fragment. Unless you have a personality who has physics 2 or personality who has science 2. Oh no. Your opponent choose a physics or science personality to be stopped. Oh no. Get all those out. All right. Stop one of these guys.
What are the key words over there?
Diplomacy, engineer, navigation, science.
We'll hit Daniel.
He's Quan. Recurring injury. That's also great art. I mean, this is great. Unless you have a personality that has biology 2 or a personality that has medical 2. Don't think that exists. Biology 1. Nope. Okay.
Biology. I took that.
Your opponent chooses a biology or medical personnel to be stopped. All right. There's biology. Biology. Medical. Stop one.
What are the key traits over there again?
Diplomacy, engineer, navigation, science, and integrity.
Okay. I don't think it matters.
Just pick one.
This one.
All
Lopez is out.
Bye, Lopez. All right, so then I have to see, do I still have diplomacy? Yes. Do I have an engineer? Lord willing.
I took one out, so you better have 2.
No. All right, you stopped me successfully.
It's quite a dilemma.
And then I'll pass to you.
Okay. 7 big ones.
I do like that you always get 7.
Yeah. Okay.
Danny says, we're going to need another Lopez stat.
5 for this ship.
Oh, no.
The Romulans are coming to town. We'll play a Jorvis for 1. And then the last thing we'll do is draw a card.
Excellent. I see you've learned. You're on side deck.
All right. These guys
You better get it done.
are getting beamed to this ship. These guys are getting beamed down and getting beamed right back up.
A lot of beaming.
Getting beamed up to this ship. And then we've got orders. We're going to go Move, move.
You need to move straight there. We should cover that.
Yeah, I just did it.
You just go straight there.
Oh, yeah. Well, I like to feel like I have to move.
punch it.
You know. I'm going to move here. I'm going to beam up a Chagrith. And that uses up 4 of my points. I have nowhere else to go because I can't spend 5 over. But they're going to go attempt that mission, not knowing if they have the traits to do it.
Who cares?
Let's go explore the galaxy. All right, we're going to try to attempt this mission, hoping that we have what we need.
How many crewmen you got?
9 exactly. Wait, I'm supposed to have 9 or less than 9 for that?
Less than 9. It would just eliminate one at random.
Randomly select 9. All your other ones are stopped.
Yeah.
So you can have 9.
How many you got?
I have 9 exactly on the nose.
How many cards are under
I'll
there?
see your limited welcome, and this goes into your hand too.
Yeah. How many cards are there?
2. So you get 7. You get 7 cards.
I can spend 7 points.
I think so. I think that's what minuses matter.
What are the key traits you're looking for over here?
Ah, it's not important. Transporters, which I'm notably thin on. Treachery, cunning greater than 34, and intelligence and leadership or law and officer. Yeah, you don't know which one I'm going for. And you can also choose whether or not to add limited welcome back. It says Ray.
We'll leave it for now.
Lord X Mugen. Have you tried Flesh and Blood? I see your comments coming through there.
All right, there you go.
Okay, my dilemmas. My dilemmas. 2 anthropology.
What's the name of the card?
2 archaeology called Authenticate Artifacts. Hold on just a second. I might have just the answer for this. Anthropology or archaeology? Ah, yes. I have just the thing. Shady resources. When your personnel is facing a dilemma, discard a card from hand. Shinzon.
Depends on what.
Gain all skills on one of your other treachery personnel. So this is a treachery personnel, Movar. He has anthropology. I'm going to give anthropology to Kretak, who also has anthropology. I believe he would not have anthropology too.
Yeah, that's right.
Which means
You passed the test.
I passed it.
All right. Next card.
Artifacts authenticated. Playing
Nailed
advanced
it.
rules now. Systems diagnostics. Choose a personnel as engineer or programming to be stopped.
Lord X Mugen saying bought a box of Arcane Rising 2 weeks ago and pulled an Arcanite skull cap. Congrats,
good.
that's a big pull. Thinking
Good.
of picking up 2 boxes of Welcome to Wraith, but I want to make sure there's a community to play with. If you have webcams going, there's a ton of people playing on a Discord server pretty regularly, so that's a great place to go. But yeah, I definitely recommend if you played Arcane Rising, Welcome to Wraith, getting a couple boxes would be a super great place to go next.
Okay, programming, you got Thexor.
Got him.
He's having to diagnose the systems.
Okay, pretty clever.
Yeah. And then I'm pinned down. Randomly select one. Good luck choosing.
One of my greatest skills in the game right here. That's why I could do anything near decent at Netrunner.
Calvin.
All right,
You
let's
got
see if
him.
we got it.
Okay. Let's run it down. Transporters. Satisfied. Treachery. Satisfied. Law and officer. Officer, law. Satisfied. Cunning greater than 34. I'm going to put the 5s in a pile and 6s in a pile. And we're going to use the power of multiplication.
You have so much cunning.
1, 2, 3, 4, 24. 1, 2, 3, 15. That is 39.
He did it.
They're abducted. The game is over.
Fascinating. I have a lot of thoughts. We're gonna go full screen and talk. I'm gonna hand you all these dilemma cards back. You wanna hand me my dilemma cards back?
Yeah.
There's your dilemmas. Mine are all under your stack.
Oh, right. Dilemma.
And I'm curious, for anyone that knows better, what are the key differences between first and second edition? Like, what were the biggest changes?
Yeah, great question.
Because I am curious. What'd you think?
Oh, out of the starter decks, I mean, I didn't understand any grand drama to it.
I feel like
If we had, and I mean, if the whole thing is like you've got to remember that there's face down cards and remember the traits that they have and stuff, I would never like that game.
Yeah.
So that's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I mean, I get the like bluffing aspect. I assume if you got really good at it, understanding which dilemma cards to play to get which skill specific characters out of their stack, right? You have to really be trying hard. But I think any game, you know, like compared to the Mythos CCG, where like there was like a list of cards I was looking for, right? This was different because it wasn't like, okay, I checked that one off, I checked that one off, I checked that one off. Like the number of times, especially if you were playing with these face down, you would have to look at cards and be looking for a certain...
Just constantly.
Just
things that are not exactly exciting for your opponent.
It's just
You're just like, okay, hold on. Checklist this off. Yeah. Not a lot of interaction in that moment. In fact, the interaction was almost none between us in that game. You chose dilemmas, but most of the time they chose themselves based on what the traits of the thing were. Like you could make an informed decision, like, well, I'm going to try to knock off their engineer if they need it for that test, right? Yeah. And it's like, well, after that,
what do you?
What is the? So you know, given that all the combat's happening through cards, you'd have to build decks to do very specific. If it's like, oh, this is my kill you so you can't complete missions deck, I imagine that exists. Or my like, I have a bunch of security officers so that I cannot be boarded, you know, deck, whatever it is. I'm sure the deck building got really interesting, but it's just hard to appreciate. As far as games that we've thrown back to that we're playing like starters and basic mechanics, this does not, it doesn't grab you. It doesn't grab me in any kind of an immediate way as like, oh, this starter experience, I want to go buy more of that. Yeah. Like it's like,
yeah.
It was just matching these traits up and
I definitely like
moving around.
I get the concept that's trying to happen here. But like, it just felt like, it felt flat.
Mm-hmm.
Like there wasn't like a...
No, there was no hook, right?
Yeah.
What was like the spice in that?
Yeah, for whatever reason, like we played Mythos, which had some of the same mechanics. I was enthralled the whole time.
Yeah.
It was like bizarro crazy. And I assume if you were really into Star Trek, this is the kind of, it might be the kind of game where, it reminds me of Star Wars LCG. Like I'm not really sure why I'm doing what I'm doing is good or bad the whole time. I just know I'm trying to do my thing. And like, if you give it 15 games, maybe there's like a lot of nuance and depth there that like people really learn to appreciate. And if you love Star Trek, you're bound to give it that chance.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
Of course, yeah. The weird thing about the Star Wars CCG though is the game kind of found a way that even when you were making insane decisions in terms of strategy, you still could just win or like there was always still a mechanic where it's like, well, if I fight really good here, I can just discard 20 cards from your deck and it works.
I feel like the Star Wars CCG has the same thing like Doomtown does, which is like I had that one trooper I played that cost me like a third of my life. It's like you could just lose randomly.
You made a mistake and then all of a sudden you've just lost the game.
So the stakes were really high.
Yeah.
I didn't feel a ton of, like it was hard for me. I could stop you, right? I found ways earlier on to stop you, but the stakes were low. Even when I stopped you, it wasn't like you like lost characters, you just lost time.
And it's in a different deck too, which is kind of weird because like you don't even have to sacrifice your game plan to do it. It's just like whatever the cards tell you.
Apparently, by the way, let me find that comment.
You start with the dilemmas under? I saw that too.
So in first edition, there wasn't a dilemma deck. You basically stacked dilemmas under missions at the start of the game, and then that's what you had to run into when you were trying to complete that mission.
Yeah, which seems cool.
FGN saying the starter deck dilemmas are kind of bad.
And then also, I saw Ray saying, my favorite deck assimilates all my opponent's personnel and then attempts with my opponent's people. So you assimilate their stuff and then you do missions with their... Like, so when you get into like deeper deck building and you have a set or two out, you know, like any game, but you also got to ask the question, if if your starter version of the game is not interesting, that's bad, right? You got to
Yeah,
you can't have the promise of like 3 sets later, this is going to be something
yeah.
worth
Now
it
that
watching.
said, this was second edition, so they were coming from 8 years of first edition and a player base that knew that.
Yeah.
And then it was like, here's what we're changing. So like they might be bought in enough. It reminds me of Thrones in that way, where like going into the LCG, you had so many people already in that you weren't even thinking like, how do we make this experience really good for someone new?
Yeah.
As much as like how do we, you know what I mean? Like that's a weird
totally
phase to be
do.
in.
But this is exactly why you would create a divide between first edition and second edition players, because from what we've just learned about first edition through the comments and through the things that came through when we posted this, like this is not at all the experience that first edition was. And when you take that away and say, here's this new streamlined experience, and it's like, but they just had the game that we just had, then it's like, but this isn't what I'm looking for in Star Trek. Like this isn't objectively interesting.
Unlike in Ashes, with Ashes Reborn, I feel like the Reborn version didn't streamline the rules. It streamlined the cards.
Yeah.
So the game stayed the same.
And Thrones did it kind of similarly.
Yeah.
I mean, and certainly Netrunner going from that to the Android version was a streamlining process, but the heart of the system was remaining intact. So it's a question about like, of the things that you cut from the system, were some of those things actually essential for the game to be more interesting?
And I don't know if this is the case with the game when you're fully playing, but KH McClure, I think, says it really well here. The game seemed to lack any pressure to the decisions of the game state. It just left it feeling kind of lifeless.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel that.
And, I mean, part of the theme of Star Trek, right, especially early on,
Lifeless
without
rocks.
Borg and stuff, is like they have solved resources, they have solved sickness, they have solved problems and wars and all this stuff, right? And literally the last thing we have left is to explore the final frontier, which is space. And so the conflict in Star Trek, the universe, at least most of what I've watched in TNG, is rarely conflict, like fighting conflict, but like personnel conflict.
Yeah.
And so like that's what's really weird about it too, especially being a heads up thing, is like even the universe itself doesn't really play to we're shooting at each other.
It's not really a heads-up universe, is it?
No, it's more like if I were building it, it's like we're each a crew member, and like we're having a fight on the crew about what to do about these problems being presented to us.
More of like a drama.
Yeah,
Almost.
like imagine if you set up a Star Trek game that your crew members on the same ship. It's kind of cooperative in that you have this threat you're dealing with, but also both people were trying to escalate the captain.
Right, one of those. Okay, yeah.
And it's like
they kind of work together, but someone's got to
like
win.
you're the navigator and I'm the fighter, military person, but like we're both trying to become the captain. Anyways,
that could be interesting. Yeah.
The drama of what was at conflict was even my dilemma deck. It's like I'm just loosely acting as something in your way that's not me.
Yeah, which was different than like in Lord of the Rings, the TCG, right, where you actually actively put threats
Are the
up,
bad thing.
but they're coming from your hand, aren't they?
Yeah.
So you have to save them or otherwise.
In both the Middle Earth TCG and the Lord of the Rings TCG.
Yeah. And I like if I had to hold dilemma cards in my hand for the right moment to use them, and I had to keep that as some of my 7, that would be an interesting decision.
Well, and the dilemmas you were playing had nothing to do with your cards either. Like even if my USS Enterprise style deck is like, the dilemmas I'm playing are based on the things I have in play, like doing something. It's like representing them doing something to you.
Right. Okay.
It's totally separated in this case.
Like
though.
it was all like Romulan dilemmas.
Yeah, and it's like
we're coming in.
And even a Romulan dilemma, it's like it gets worse if you have 3 scientists in play. Like it's a weird experiment dilemma, or like or at that point, I don't know.
And this seems like a problem with the starter decks.
Yeah.
So anyone who is here digging the Star Trek CCG, or if you play second edition, what is it? What would you say are the strongest points of the game?
Yeah, I'm curious.
And I think not playing with the face down stuff kind of changes it, Not that I was caring about your cards. I
wasn't
didn't even look
paying
at them
attention at all. Yeah.
So it's the same thing.
But I think that's part of it is like there's so much information, and maybe if you just actually are paying way more attention, but there's so much information that it's not worth tracking at first.
Yeah.
Like it's too much for me to like follow. But I do think eventually people that know better, I get it, where like the dilemmas you're choosing even, it's like, I know even though geology is the thing you're looking for, the only person you have with geology is your captain, and I have a card to mess with captains.
Yeah.
but like that's too far for me. Honest, like when I'm first learning how to play a game, it just doesn't even register.
Yeah, it's just hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that. Danny Goodnight saying here the differences between the different factions is one of the strengths of the game, so that's good. X1 Alpha saying hi from the UK, hello. Danny also saying deck building can be quite fun, and that would be an interesting question. Is if you were to crack this open, how would you even approach deck building? You got your missions that you're going on, and so you optimize your crew to do the missions that you're going to bring to the table. Then you decide the dilemmas probably that you're going to bring to the table, and then it's inevitably a race, right? This is a racing game.
Yeah.
First to beat the missions.
And that's probably where the most tension is. It's like you have to put on the gas, but if you're putting on the gas and getting stopped, that's going to take you way more time because your crew's going to get separated.
Yeah.
And like the safest thing is to build a mega crew and go complete the missions all in a row. But you could also cheat that early, right? And like sneak out and go grab one and sneak out and go grab one. And like there's a tempo-ness to it.
And that's the thing that I wanted to be there, is that the dilemmas, because they're ever present, the ability to like quickly sneak out and go get something before your opponent, because if I have to choose between building up my crew or holding dilemma cards to slow you down, that's way more interesting. Yeah. Because then otherwise speed is relative to just your actions, because my dilemmas are always the same.
They're just ever present.
Ever present, yeah.
There's some cool comments coming in. Let me scroll up to these. Derek Dunbar says that it was Star Trek, honestly. Y'all really hit it on the head. If you're not bought into the theme, it doesn't really do anything for you. Lord X Museum saying, I feel like if you want theme, you were playing the Star Wars CCG at the time. RH Town saying, the big thing for first edition Star Trek for me was that it wasn't magic.
It's hilarious.
AA Max saying, first edition felt like Star Trek. You flew around to the planets and ships and crew. And I think if you're really into Star Trek, right?
Yeah.
It's enough to feel like you're getting to be the crew flying around.
Yeah.
That is probably as interesting as anything else.
So is this one of those issues where you had Magic come along that was very successful, Pokemon as well, of course, and then
This was post-Magic, pre-Pokemon, though.
Pre-Pokemon, wasn't it?
Second edition was after all that.
That's what was. So second edition being after it is the key here. So like, you see these games doing so well, and then you say, we need a more streamlined, simple game so that we can get some of these
It's a trap.
bucks. But then nobody wants to play a streamlined Star Trek game like this, and then the people who wanted to play a Star Trek game wanted it to feel like Star Trek, and then you took that away too, and so it does nothing.
Yeah, well, and you streamline it obviously because I would guess that the game comes out in 1994, and then 8 years later, or 6 years in, you probably start working on this project. Power creep, complex cards. You've made some mistakes along the way, want to fix it, and also you're probably looking at the end of the gold rush, right, on CCGs, and it's like, well, we have a good amount of players, but we need more to make this reasonable.
To make it feasible to keep printing it.
And I think this comes back. I mentioned something similar on the podcast this week. We were talking about LCGs versus CCGs. And one of the things about LCGs is that the price is more accessible. And a lot of times people assume that means there's a lot more people interested in that. Because more people can afford it. But it doesn't mean there's more people interested. So I think a similar thing happens here, which is you simplify the game to make it appeal to more people. And you do exactly what we've seen so many games do now, right? Which is they split the goalposts. And the people that have been around for 8 years obviously like that experience.
Right.
And
that's why if you're around 8 years on a first edition like that, on a complex Star Trek CCG, you are so bought into that, don't touch it.
Yeah.
Right?
And then you reboot it, and then it turns out that your OG players, there's a portion of them that won't like it. And I'm curious, if you played both editions, what your thoughts are on second edition when it came out. Like if there's anybody here that I would be curious what the community was saying at that point. But then also in 2002, for a streamlined game, at that point, it's so hard to beat Magic and Pokemon. Like they were on their meteoric rise.
You're not going to beat them.
And I would assume just from both Star Trek's popular, but like compared to Pokemon, it's insane. And Magic is insane.
Yeah.
And so I don't know actually what happened after they did second edition, or how long it went, or how successful it was or wasn't. But I know that it was Decipher, so it inevitably went down in flames in the like 2004, 2005 catastrophe that was them losing the Star Wars license, the embezzling, all that kind of stuff, unfortunately.
Yeah, and then Ray saying, thanks for hanging out with us today, Ray. You've been super helpful. He's saying, I played both and I like second edition more, but I know plenty of people that are the other way. I'm probably the minority. And so you do hit people with different games that you put out always, right? There's always a different taste that you're going to hit. But you got to hit a lot of people with something to keep it in print, especially whenever all of, like you said, the CCGs are starting to come out like crazy. They're solidifying around very, very distinct player bases. And so 2002 is a tough time anyway
That
to try
said,
to get any traction.
Ryan Rober's saying Star Trek would have continued if Decipher didn't implode. I'm curious, when they were imploding, was the game still relatively popular? Also, Lord Xmugen saying, you definitely don't beat Pokemon and Magic with //hack.
David, I like saying I like second edition more because I can get more people to play with me, but I got my chunkiness from the Star Wars CCG.
Jason Lang saying, I would like to see Zach and Steven play Hack. I do have the deck, so that is on the list of games that we will feature.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
But yeah, I mean, it's the whole Decipher thing. At some point, I would love to have Warren on the podcast just to
would be really
hear
cool.
about the 90s and 2000s and everything that happened.
To announce that PDP Star Wars CCG.
We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon, my friends. But no, I think he would be a fascinating person to talk to because he saw so much of the industry at such a unique time.
Mm-hmm.
And he's someone that we got to interview Richard Garfield a couple years ago, but he's someone that is to me, Richard Garfield is a designer, but it would be more like talking to Peter Atkinson, who I also think would be a very interesting person because he was a Wizards with Magic and all that stuff, and then Gen Con, he was heavily involved in that. So I would be curious to. That's such a fascinating phase of the industry.
It's a great story to tell. We should have that on a podcast. And people saying it was still popular up until Decipher went down, which is honestly, this is the one just from the starter experience that I have the most trouble understanding why it was so popular, or popular to a degree that it was continuing to print for many years.
Honestly, I 100% think it's Star Trek.
Yeah,
There are people that love Star Trek.
Yeah,
You just get to be your captain and your crew on your ship, and that's it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's true.
I understand that conceptually. I just never have been hooked by Star Trek, and definitely not enough hooked to this game that if we had played this now or back then, I think we play it once or twice, and then it's like.
Here's the question you got to ask: if this was Star Wars themed, would you have liked it more?
I don't know.
You're Han Solo and Chewie, or you're Luke, and you're going to it, and you got to complete the destroy the Death Star mission is the one, and it wins you the game.
I don't know.
Your opponent has dilemmas with Darth Vader on him.
I really don't know.
Yeah, it's a good question. Hey, thanks for joining us, everybody.
People keep saying in all caps, Star Trek license.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. I guess there hasn't really been one since, has there? Star Trek card game? And everybody, the continuing committee's got both first and second is continuing. So, wow.
Man, there's some just fundamentally awesome humans out in existence to carry on things they love like that. I love seeing it.
Isn't that really the whole point?
But yeah, I mean, I get it enough that I could see why a mega Star Wars person or Star Trek person would be like if this was Star Wars and a new card game came out, I would play it 5 or 10 times before I stopped trying.
Yep.
Like I did with every Star Wars game that ever came out.
Totally fair. Hey, thanks for joining us. It's been a pleasure, everyone. We're glad you're here. We're glad you joined us for this. We're happy to play the Star Trek CCG.
If you're new around these parts, by the way, we throw back on Thursdays almost every week.
Yeah. Do you have any plans for next week? Do we know what we're getting into?
Wars.
The Wars CCG. So that continues our Decipher.
That is down the Decipher line. Yep.
All right, Wars next week. And we hope to see you there. And if you'd like to find out more about us, you can do that any way that you search the internet. So yeah, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week, guys. Take care.